Everybody shut up and action. Is Warrior a good movie? Hell yeah. Alright, so Warrior is a movie that is really like Rocky. So if you're a big fan of the Rocky franchise, you will definitely find enjoyment in this movie. This movie is absolutely gorgeous. I just saw a clip of a guy entering a boxing training area, and I was like, yeah, you know what, I'm gonna watch this movie tonight, and I did, and I loved it. This is the story about a guy who left his father with his mother when he was at a young age because his father used to abuse them, so they escaped, and now came back to see his father just to see how things are because he was a drunk guy who kept drinking, had an alcohol abuse issue, and he doesn't like him, but he's just in the area, so for whatever reason he decided to pop by. He decided to think that I want to get back into boxing. His father used to be his coach, so I don't want any relation with you, but I'm getting back into boxing, so if I'm going to do this, I might as well have you in as my coach. Not even boxing, it's like MMA style fighting, right? So he's like, oh, if I'm going to do this, I might as well have you as my coach. Whatever, I'm going to just go in and, I'm going to go train at this place, this boxing training area, MMA training area, and he gets the opportunity to fight one of their lead fighters there because they were looking for a sparring partner. He was like, yeah, I'll fight, and he knocks him out in like 3 seconds flat. Absolute badass scene. And this guy is like, yeah, you know what, I'm a fight in this big tournament that's coming up. I forget what it's called, but Sparta or something. But he's like, yeah, you know what, I'm a fight in this tournament, which is like a 2-day tournament in which 16 different fighters try to fight to see who's the best. It's this really interesting tournament. But the big twist in this entire show, in this entire movie, is that this guy has a brother. He didn't run away with him and his mom. He decided to stay because he was in love with a girl. He decided to stay, deal with his abusive father. He doesn't like the father either. He's moved away from him. He doesn't want to let the father see his kids. But he's living a happy life with his wife now, and he works as a school teacher teaching physics, biology, chemistry, one of those science subjects. And he's just doing MMA and local fights on the side, and he gets suspended from teaching because he's fighting on the side. The school can't have that, so he's on suspended leave, and he's stuck because he needs to make money because payments are due. He needs money. He's financially struggling right now, and he's in this situation. He's like, you know what? I also used to fight. I'm gonna get back into fighting as well. And now it's this entire story about these brothers who don't really. One brother who's still caring about his younger brother, the teacher. He wants to care about his younger brother, but the younger brother clearly doesn't want any relation to him because, well, he's still hurt that he chose to stay with with the father and the girl he loved rather than escape with his mom and him. Their mother died alone on the side. So there's this entire complex relationship between all three parties, the father and the two siblings, and that alone is just a deep, intricate layer that really kind of encourage you to analyze these characters and their relations and the way they talk and the way they approach fighting and the way they approach everything and how they live. Tom Hardy is one of the lead actors in this movie, and he's just really quiet, but honestly his performance is absolutely fantastic, and that was the one reason I got drawn into this movie. I just saw Tom Hardy walk into the boxing place, and I was like, you know what, I want to watch this movie tonight. This looks badass, and it's really inspiring to see how these guys just go about training. The way they interact with one another is already really interesting to analyze and see their intercomplex relations between each party with one another, and then how they all have their own goals going into this tournament, how they all get into this tournament, how they all have connections to be able to you know what, I want to get back into fighting. I have a friend who used to coach me when I used to fight, but now if you can do me a solid and start teaching me once again, oh, we're training together, oh, a spot opened up in Sparta, I can use the money, and I can fight, just give me a shot. And the bond of trust that helps them get into these tournaments that are really exclusive, which seem to be globally open tournaments, but for some reason there are very few international fighters, and it's just mainly these guys and a few others. But regardless, that's not something that bothers you too much. And with the ease of how they were able to get into this tournament when there's only 16 fighters and there's a world full of martial artists, but that doesn't bother you too much. And the enticing thing is that there is 2 fights. One absolute the fight we're looking forward to the most is the two brothers coming to fight one another, because we all know that they're going to fight one another, and that is one thing that you're hoping to see. You like the way you know how movies play out, you kind of predict that they're going to fight at the finals, but you're always questioning how they're going to make it to the finals, because the movie's always hyping up this one guy to be this crazy beast who's going to win the tournament, and then you're always waiting to see who he's going to fight. In the back of your head, you're predicting that the younger brother, Tom Hardy's character, he's the badass fighter in this picture from what we can see, and the older brother's the underdog. So it's like, yo, okay, Tom Hardy's gonna fight this guy, he's gonna have his rematch with this guy, then he'll fight the world champion, and then fight his brother in the finals. Like, in the back of your mind, like, you're not actively thinking like that, you're just enjoying the movie, getting hooked and immersed in. You're feeling the fights as they go, and you're just, like, feeling the tension, like, oh my god, this is gonna be an easy fight, breeze, and you just get excited over that. You're feeling all these emotions throughout these fights, but, like, the key thing in the back of your mind is thinking, how are they gonna meet in the finals? Because the fight you're looking forward to most is brother versus brother, and how it might be revealed that they are brothers if it's going to be revealed. You don't even care if it will be revealed or not, but, like, you're just hooked to see that, and then you get this crazy surprise that, you know, it's the older brother, the underdog, that has to fight this world champion, and you're like, oh my god, now, wait, is he actually going to be fighting the world champion in the finals? Suddenly there's this huge twist, and you're stuck on the edge of your seat like, holy shit, what's about to happen? Is he not fighting his brother? Is he not going to get the chance to fight his brother? And this entire time, you're hooked on the edge of your seat, and then when you see the brother win, you're like, oh my goodness gracious, like, you are hooked into this film fully, and you're going crazy over these tiny details, and then you see this entire relationship blow up right in the finals. The brother, Tom Hardy, he's just winning every fight in a few seconds, and now all of a sudden, he's like, yeah, what? Like, Tom Hardy's like the definition of aura. He beats the guy, knocks him out, and walks out before anyone can raise his hand to say he's the winner, before they can even, like, count the guy out. He just walks straight out of the arena. I don't know how that's not a DQ or something, but they just allow it, because he's a beast. And the way he's doing all this is, like, super disrespectful to his opponent, and he just doesn't seem to care. He just wants to fight and leave. And now all of a sudden at the end, he's fighting his brother. The fight with his brother is going into multiple rounds, and right after the first round, he's just throwing cheap shots and everything, and they're brothers. It's been announced they're brothers, and you're gonna behave like that with your brother, and, like, you understand it because of the complex relation to the fans and stuff. I'm surprised there's not more outrage. You're gonna do cheap shots against your brother and stuff like that, but, you know, they're still, like, you understand everything that's going on because they're siblings and whatnot. And, like, you kind of get this entire feeling that Tom Hardy's character should be winning that fight easily, but at the same time, he's just holding back. Like, he's still fighting ferociously and everything, but, like, he is, like, clearly, like, fighting, like, with violence in his head. He's not thinking through anything. He just wants to aggressively let out all his anger. Like, in all his other fights, he was doing that, but at least he was doing it smartly in a way where he's fighting like a martial artist would. Now, here, he's just mindlessly fighting, trying to just deal damage, not actually care about winning. He just wants to fight to do damage, and it's crazy. And then that's how his brother is able to take advantage and win, get him in some good locks. And he's obviously a skilled fighter himself, so if you're not going to fight properly, he's going to take advantage of you and put you out. And then it's just a really nice ending there where the brother just embraces each other, and they kind of have this moment of rekindling, and it's honestly really, really, really beautiful. It's a great movie. I really fell in love with it. Everything about it is gorgeous. So the key thing that really hooks you throughout this movie is the interrelations through the brothers and the father, and how it's this entire complex relationship with the father who's trying to be, who was an alcohol abuser, family abuser, and now he's, like, trying to fix himself, change himself, and he wants another chance with his family, but, like, they don't want to give him a chance. They're still haunted by the trauma they have of dealing with him as a child, and you, like, throughout this entire movie, you're like, come on, you have to give your father a chance. Look how much effort he's putting into changing, but at the same time, you understand why they don't want to give him another chance, and why they're just using him at this point for whatever benefits they need from him, in terms of training and stuff, and he's willing to do it because he just wants another chance. And you can see that these guys, like, in the back of their minds, they want to give him another chance, but they're too traumatized to want to actually deal with him and care for him or anything. And while you are rooting for the father to be given a second chance, you can understand their actions. And it's like, if you watched it from a different perspective, like seeing the father actually beat them, maybe the viewpoint would change from your end on, yeah, don't give him a second chance or something. But because we don't see any of that, we're just told that, and we're seeing how he's changed and how they react now. You're just feel pity for the father, and then you see how great a character Tom Hardy's character is. Like, even though he's faced all that abuse, when his father goes back into being a drunkard, starts drinking all over again, because he suddenly gets depressed and he breaks his 1,000-day streak or whatever it was of being sober, you can see his, as much as he dislikes his father, he's there to console him and take care of him too. And honestly, this entire movie just, it's more of a family intercomplex relation movie, and it's just really gorgeous to watch in that aspect, and just the way everything ties together around this entire fighting MMA tournament and this entire training segment. It is just a really, really interesting movie, and it's just really engaging, and I don't know, something about it is also kind of inspiring. The entire camera works, lighting, cinematography, the acting, everything about it was absolutely gorgeous from a technical standpoint. I really fell in love with this movie. Every little detail in these characters' personas really had me hooked, and it's a really, really, really interesting movie to watch. I really enjoyed watching it. This movie was just an absolute blast. That's Warrior. Peace.